What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Hope you guys are doing well. In this video, we will be discussing Tortoise Acquisition Corporation and the company that they are merging with or acquiring, which is Hyliion, which is an EV truck company. We'll be going over how to trade this stock specifically and how to trade SPACs or SPACs, special purpose acquisition companies in general. They tend to have a pretty predictable life cycle, at least in the early stages of the stock. Now, just for a little bit of background, and so I'm not assuming that everybody knows what a SPAC is. An SPAC or a SPAC is a special purpose acquisition company. This is sometimes referred to as a blank check company. This is basically a company that has no operations, and its role is just to raise money in order to acquire usually another private company and take it public. So this is very different than the IPO route or the direct listing IPO route, and they have become all the rage in 2020. Some of your favorite stocks like DraftKings, Virgin Galactic, Nikola, well, I wouldn't say that's one of your favorite stocks, not recently anyway, but these stocks have all gone public through this process of special purpose acquisition companies. And Hyliion, which is a high profile electric truck startup company that was founded in 2015, that is the company that Tortoise Acquisition Corporation is going to merge with and take public. Both Hyliion and Tortoise will be voting on the merger on September 28th, and if all goes through as expected, Shell will become Hyliion stock, and that company will eventually be public. So how should we trade this for maximum profit, and how should we trade SPACs in general? As I said at the outset, SPAC stocks do have a very noticeable trend early on, and I hope to show you what that is so that you can make better trading decisions when trading SPACs. I'll also go over some stocks and options trade ideas with regards to SPACs in general and with Hyliion/Tortoise. But before we dive into the details, if you get anything out of this video, leave it a big fat thumbs up. If you want access to all of our trades, link is in the description below. We have a very vibrant trading community, over 800 traders discussing strategies, how to trade options, which options we're trading, stocks that we're looking at. Link is in the description below, so go ahead and sign up if you want to be a part of that. And comment down below, let me know what SPACs you are invested in or what SPACs you are looking to trade. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. All right, guys, back at the desk. So as I said, Tortoise Acquisition Corporation is going to be voting along with Hyliion on September 28th, which is actually Monday, which is tomorrow from the time of this recording. And if that merger goes through, then Hyliion is going to go public. Well, let us take a look at a few SPAC charts. Here we have SHLL, which is Tortoise Acquisition Corporation, SPCE, which is Virgin Galactic, Nikola, and DraftKings. And the reason that I'm looking at these, we'll also take a look at Kensington Capital, which just announced which company it was going to merge with. It's merging with QuantumScape, which is an EV battery startup that's backed partly by Bill Gates. So why are we taking a look at these charts? Well, because I want to show you what the trend is for SPACs. So with SPACs, you see when they're first public, before they announce which company they're going to merge with or acquire, you see this very flat price range, right? This is basically when the SPAC goes public. It's basically a blank check company at the time. Here you see Tortoise Acquisition Company. This is before they announced which corporation they're going to be buying or merging with. SPAC, same thing. There's this very flat line, and that's because the company itself has no expectations. There's no announcements. It's just a blank check company that's waiting to buy another company and announce it to the public. Here you see Nikola, same thing. You have this very flat, basically a solid price before the blank check company announces which corporation it's going to be merging with. DraftKings, same thing. There are a few SPACs right now in the market that haven't announced which company they're going to be buying. Bill Ackman's SPAC is, I think, the largest of them at the moment. It has $4 billion just waiting to be spent. So let's take a look at Kensington Capital, for instance. Here we have the blank check company that went public, and then it was announced on September 3rd that it was going to be buying QuantumScape, again, Bill Gates's partially backed EV battery company. You have SPCE, which is Virgin Galactic. Before that, it was Social Capital, and you can see this flat trading range. And then it was announced around October 2019 that it would be merging with Virgin Galactic, and you see this rally in price. It rallied about 12 to 13%. Same thing with Nikola. It was, flat when it was just an SPAC blank check. And then right around March 2020 of this year, it was announced that it would be buying EV startup Nikola. And we saw a 40% price rally. Again, DraftKings will take a look at one more example. Again, it was flat when it was just an SPAC. Then it was announced in December 2019 that this SPAC would be buying DraftKings and taking it public, or merging with DraftKings and taking it public in December 2019. And we see a 7 to 10% stock increase since then. Obviously, it increased a lot more. But the point here is that with special purpose acquisition companies, based on what we've seen so far, it makes a lot of sense to be buying them when they are basically just SPACs that have unannounced mergers and the price is basically flat. Now, with SPACs, we usually get a second wave rally, and that is what we're looking for with Tortoise, because obviously they announced in June 2020 of this year that they were going to be merging with Hyliion, right? And that's why you see this 40% price jump on that day. And September 28th is when that deal will hopefully go through if they both vote accordingly. So if we take a look at DraftKings, for instance, yeah, it was announced in December 2019, but the deal didn't actually go through until April 2020. And that's when we started seeing a second wave rally. Same thing with Nikola. When it was announced, it was back in March 2020, and it wasn't until June that the actual merger took place after a vote. And you see that the stock, has been rallying since then. So should you buy Hyliion, and how should you trade this? Well, in my view, if you're not in Hyliion, you should wait for a retracement. And, really last week was the opportune moment when it bounced off the 50 moving average to get in. It was around $33 at that point. This was the perfect time to get in. You want to see these major retracements because, as we see, these events are largely priced in, and then we will see a price rally thereafter after, good news starts coming out about the newly formed company. So even with SPCE, you saw the initial boost after it was announced, and then there was a drop off before a rally after the merger was complete. Same thing with DraftKings. You had the announcement, and from the announcement, we had a basically, almost a 94% rally before then tanking, and then the merger actually taking place and the price starting to rally again. I expect the same thing to happen with Hyliion. Again, last week was the perfect opportunity to buy or engage in options plays because options do exist for Tortoise Acquisition Corporation. I'll go over options in a second, but you want to wait for these major retracements leading up to and after the announcement and then buy in for the second wave rally. Now, you could buy Hyliion here at $44. But if it does retrace again to the 50 moving average, somewhere around there, then you're looking at, a potential 25% drop from your price point. You are better off being patient, in my view, and waiting for a retracement to a major moving average or a major support level before seeing another rally. Now, options obviously opens the door to a wider array of trading opportunities, but if we take a look at KCAC, so this one was one that we traded. I sent this out in the trade alerts, but basically, we saw the announcement with Quantum Space, the initial rally, and then it started declining, and it found support here at a major support level, even though it's very young, but it's a major support level relative to its history from the initial gap up candle. And this was the perfect time to get in. So I bought shares of KCAC, and what I also did was sell covered calls against my shares because it'll be a while before this merger actually takes place. So I sold covered calls, I think at the $20 level, and that way I get to collect premium while the stock waits for another rally. Now, if it doesn't rally to $20 before my expiration date, then I get to keep that premium. If it rallies to $20 and goes above and I get assigned, then essentially I will sell my shares that I bought at the low at 15 or 16 bucks for $20, so I still get to profit. It's really a win-win for stocks that you want to hold, but also want to make some money in the interim while they stagnate or potentially decline. So same thing with Tortoise is you can essentially buy if you bought shares, you can, either sell covered calls. You can potentially sell the 55 or the 60 call on Tortoise Acquisition Company if you own the shares. You can also do a put vertical spread where if you believe that this 50 moving average at around, $33 is the bottom, you could sell a put spread, maybe like the 25-30 put spread or the 30-35 put spread, which is a bullish position. And if Tortoise finishes above your strike prices by expiration, then you get to keep the money. You can also sell a cash covered put. So you can pick a lower strike price, say, the 20, actually, let's take a look at the strike prices, but you can pick a lower strike price, say, the $25 strike price expiring November 20th. You could sell a put for $320 per contract. If Tortoise, or it would be Hyliion by then, hopefully, if the vote goes through, if it doesn't hit $25, then you get to keep the entire $320. If it hits $25, then you will have to buy 100 shares of Tortoise for every contract that you have, but you will essentially be buying it at a much discounted price because right now it's $44. So $25 would actually represent a 44% discount, and it's right around the 100 moving average. So just to recap, one, you could wait for a major retracement and then buy the shares because we tend to see a second wave rally after the merger goes through. Two, you could sell a cash covered put at a lower strike price, say around the $25 strike price, collect the premium. If it doesn't hit your lower strike price, you get to keep that premium. If it does hit your lower strike price, then you get to buy the stock at a discounted price. Three, you could sell a put vertical spread, or what's called a bull put spread. And for example, we can pick, strike prices that are, let's say, 25 delta out. If you sold let's just say the 37.35 strike prices, for instance, you can get $1.20 out of a potential $2. So you're getting most of the premium up front, more than half of it up front. And if Hyliion if it expires above $37 by this date, this is, theoretical, October 30th, which is 33 days out, you get to keep that entire $120 per contract. And play number four, you can sell a covered call, meaning you can buy 100 shares at least of Hyliion at this price. And you could sell calls at the $55 or $60 range, which if we picked October 30th, you can actually sell the $55 call for $810. If Hyliion doesn't hit $55 by October 30th, you get to keep the entire $810 plus the shares that you bought already at $44. If it hits $55 by October 30th, then you will be forced to sell 100 shares per call contract that you sold, but you're actually selling it for profit because you bought them at the current price of 44 and you're selling them at 55. It's really a win-win. So those are just some of the ways to trade Hyliion, along with some of the other high-profile SPACs or special purpose acquisition companies. Hopefully, I opened up some valuable trading ideas for you. Again, I send all of my trades out in the trade alerts below. If you want access to that, sign up now. Link is in the description. If you want to learn how to trade options, I do one-on-ones every month. Spots go really fast on the first of every month usually. So sign up. Same link is also in the description, or hit me up if you have any questions about it. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Leave it in the comment section below. Let me know which SPACs you're currently trading or thinking of trading. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.